Are you a business owner that could use just one more customer? Those empty tables, vacant appointments, idle employees, and expired merchandise are missed opportunities. What if there were a community that connects you to high-value and motivated customers, giving you a competitive edge in the marketplace and increasing your revenue? Introducing Partners One. You keep doing what you do best, taking care of your customers, and we'll do what we do best, sending you new customers to take care of. Call us today to find out how Partners One can work for your business.
Welcome to the Rocket Right Show, starring Hurricane Betsy Barnes and Dr. K. Solar. Two busy blondes with their fingers on the pulse of all things Louisiana. Events, health, leisure, entertainment, and more. It's the Rocket Right Show. And now, here's Betsy and Kay.
And welcome to Rocket Right. We are so glad you can be with us. We are having a good time, as always, coming to you from the Partners One studio in beautiful Baton Rouge, Louisiana. But you can hear us all over the place. You can hear us in Texas.
That's right, because you're so loud, Betsy.
No, Louisiana, that's right.
I'm teasing.
That's right. We're having a good time. So we're really excited that you could be with us and that you could join us. And we're excited you, Dr. Ron McMorris, could be with us. We always love it when you come. We always learn something from you. So thank you for being here.
Thanks for having me. And we're going to be having with us Dr. Ralph Dauterive coming up next, who is the Vice President of Medical Affairs at Ochsner Medical Center here in Baton Rouge, because there's a lot of myths out there about the COVID-19 vaccine. People want to know, it's like, what's really going on in the hospitals? I mean, are we really like busting at the seams? What's happening? He's going to tell us the truth, what's happening in the medical system, and talk about some of those myths that are concerning for folks or misinformation. Never in history has anyone gotten their medical advice so much from social media.
Right.
And so you really have to think, is that a legitimate source? How do I vet that? And so we're going to be talking about all those things.
We want the truth. We want it boiled down. We just want the truth. No sensationalized stuff, just the real truth.
So we're going to be talking about all of that. And then we're going to have a little music to end the show with Konner James. So, yeah, fun times ahead. Thanks for hanging with us. It's always fun time to start the show with you, Dr. Ron.
Thank you. Thank you. It's always great to be here.
Yeah. Dr. Ron has My Elite Chiro over in Walker.
Walker and Albany.
And Albany. Let's not forget that.
Conveniently serving all of Livingston Parish.
Mm-hmm. So what you want to talk about today? We have talked about the expansion of your clinic. You've had so much going on.
Partnership with ACE Physical Therapy. You brought your friend with you last time, your friend and colleague, and he was very enlightening in the things that he shared. And
he had a great time. He enjoyed it. You know, I think the big thing to get out is if you hurt, if you say ouch, call Elite Chiropractic, call Cam Wellness Center, let us check you out, let us see what's going on. There are many times to where chiropractic isn't the right choice for your pain. However, we have great relationships with the physicians in the area. We've seen the referrals, the results from different referrals. We know who to send you to. So instead of wasting time jumping from doctor to doctor, come to the experts of the musculoskeletal system. Let us send you to where we know you're going to get great care. And again, it doesn't matter if it's something that we specialize in or you think we specialize in or not. We can get you to the right place.
So you're good at helping with the diagnosis.
Absolutely.
And then referring you to the right place. You don't want to just crack and pop and adjust everybody.
Well, we don't crack you back, Betsy. We wine and dine your spine.
Exactly.
and Betsy likes whining and dining.
That's right.
Just saying.
That's right.
Just saying. So I do like that.
You're right there with me, Kay.
Oh, hush up, you.
But you really are about people's whole health.
We are. We tried. We've been in business now. We've been in Livingston Parish since 2010. I grew up in Livingston Parish. My daughter is going to grow up in Livingston Parish. My entire family's in Livingston Parish. We actually live about 15 minutes from everybody. Yeah. And Livingston Parish is my heart. When I lived in Baton Rouge, Texas, I was talking to my dad about moving back, and we had a few choices of where to move to, and I chose Livingston Parish. I love the parish. I love the people, and I want to continue to give back as much as we can. It's not just a business that's there. Every patient's like family. We go to church there. We give back to the community. We participate in the community events. It's really special to my heart to be there, and I'm glad to be able to provide the services we provide. And then over the course of 10 years, 12 years of being there, since 2010.
Yeah, time
there's
flies,
certain,
doesn't it? These last couple of years just disappeared.
That's right. They do. They just, look, I tell people I clock in on Monday mornings, and when I clock out that evening, I realize it's Friday. So, I mean, Mom and Dad said life was going to pass by fast when I got older, and here it is. It's flying by.
Yes, it is.
So there's certain things that we just don't specialize in. And, physical therapy is a great alternative to some things that we may not be able to provide. Several things we can't provide. Yeah. So for those needing specific treatment for physical therapy, we now have a nurse practitioner and an MD that come in. We'll be providing different types of services for them. We'll talk about that on the next show.
Okay, that sounds good. You always have something new adding to the practice, and you do have one of the best massage therapists.
Oh, she is phenomenal.
I think that there is. She's phenomenal.
Yep, Dawn's phenomenal. She really cares about her patients. She takes her time. You don't feel rushed when you're going in.
And what is her full name so people can call and make an appointment with her?
Elite Chiropractic in Walker, Albany.
Not your
and
name.
Ask for Dawn.
Dawn,
That's
okay.
Right.
We want to make sure that people know that that's who they need to go to, and that might be the beginning of their journey with
He's
you.
got the one girl there. You just call and ask for a massage, and you're going to get to the right place.
We do have Holly. She practices in our Albany clinic as well. Holly's great. Holly does a fantastic job. We just see more patients in the Walker clinic. But, I started CAM Wellness Center. So the next time you go into Elite, you'll see Elite and ACE. You'll see us advertising a lot of CAM Wellness Center. And what I was looking for is the wholeness approach, looking at the whole person and, what services are maybe outside of my scope of practice, but I knew, the patients deserved it. So instead of traveling to Baton Rouge, they can get the service right there in our clinic. Anything we don't provide, there's another great nurse practitioner, Christine Palmer. Christine Palmer has a more natural approach to healing. She's doing IVs with vitamins and really doing some great, amazing things to help with the obesity problems we have in Livingston Parish, the opioid problem we have in Livingston Parish.
That's a serious problem everywhere.
Absolutely. And just providing care to patients that they haven't had before. So now Christine's not in our office. She has her own office in Walker. But between her clinic, my clinic, the other massage therapists that practice in the area, the other physical therapists, chiropractors, we're really providing great services to Livingston Parish. Chiropractic is the one profession I found where if you have a bad experience once, you don't go back. If you have a bad experience with a plumber, you call a different plumber. Have a bad experience with an electrician, you call a different electrician. I've talked to several people who have gone to one visit, had a bad experience, and like, I'm never going back again. We'll just choose a different one. So, or go back to the same one, give them the experience, let them know what's happening, because 100% of the time that you hurt, you have inflammation. 100% of the time. So when we do an adjustment, we're doing something different to the body. We're causing a potential or creating a potential for more inflammation. So although the problem might be fixed, the inflammatory response may feel like you're worse, and the problem was better. Go back and communicate with your chiropractor. Tell your chiropractor what happened, and let them adjust their adjustment. Let them adjust what they're doing.
And maybe they need to stretch a little bit, drink a little more water. Maybe they need a little nutritional guidance.
Absolutely.
I mean, there's a lot of things that play into that recovery and healing.
In the future, we're going to have a doctor of naturopathic medicine. We're going to have nutritionists, speech therapy, occupational therapy. We're going to have it all right there in Livingston Parish for patients to go to.
It's so much easier when you go to somebody you trust and they refer you to other people they trust. It's just so much easier.
I've always liked the fact that you put a nutrition component in it, because so many people, they have inflammation or their joints hurt because they're overweight and they're overworking.
They just have such a poor diet, their body doesn't get what it needs.
So when you add that nutritional component to help with your overall health, you ultimately can reduce your inflammation. And
I wish the government would focus more on programs to decrease obesity, decrease smoking, increase
all
your health.
Instead
of giving $100 to get vaccinated, or $100 for this, or $1 million for this, instead of providing extra services or keeping people from working. I really feel like if we'd focus on a better health care. We really don't have health care in the United States. We have disease care. You go to the doctor when you have a disease and you ask for it to get fixed. If we had health care, we'd have more healthy people and less people dying from COVID.
Absolutely, because, what your general health status has been shown to be whether you have serious complications or not from COVID. And I think one of the big take-homes from what's been going on with COVID is how can I personally improve my health so that I'm less likely to succumb to this? Not just, and so the vaccine, we're going to talk about that. It's preventative, and it may help you reduce that. But it's just like, the person who's a diabetic who's 400 pounds and they keep eating a pint of ice cream every night and taking a shot of insulin to reduce that. You need to look at the whole picture and everybody's whole health. It's not just a quick fix. It's like a lot of things.
Well, food is medicine if it's the right food.
That take, and it takes a lot of willpower. Some people, don't want to have that personal willpower to improve their life. But those that do, some people just don't realize how important it is, I think.
I think the problem that we have is and I know this from experience. This is my personal experience. I felt the government was pushing something on me. If it was so great, why do you have to push it on me?
Right.
So it really turned me off. I wanted to make my decisions in life. So it wasn't until I talked to a good friend of mine who told me the CEOs of Pfizer, Moderna, these companies, they didn't just dream it up. All three CEOs, the different CEOs, they didn't dream up RNA one night at the same time. This technology has been around, and I just posted on my Facebook a study from Duke University in 1993 is when RNA vaccine or RNA medications became more popular or more readily available. So go to my website, Ron McMorris. That's not my website, it's my Facebook. And my Facebook, Ron McMorris. I have a pretty decent post. We have people posting some links, and I usually leave after a show, but I definitely want to stick around here what Dr. Dauterive has to say.
Absolutely, because he's going to tell us all about that. And I know, it's one of those things, you want to make your own decision, but you want to get it from the right sources. You looked into it and made a decision.
I made a decision. I feel like I'd survived the COVID. I feel like I'm healthy enough, but what would my family have to go through?
Right. So you went and
I put my family first.
Yes.
Yes, always.
And so we are going to have Dr. Dauterive up next to talk more about any questions you might have that's rolling around in your head, because we've seen them all on social media, and he's going to answer that about the COVID-19 vaccine as well as what's going on in our hospitals right now.
Right. Stay tuned.
Ladies, let's go.
There's a joy of life you'll find only in Louisiana. A spirit of celebration that takes your senses places they've never been before. Where expressions of joy are an art form and our way of life. Where an abundance of good food, good times, and great music means there's more than enough to go around. Come one, come y'all. Come feed your soul in Louisiana. I'm John Goodman, inviting you to visit LouisianaTravel.com and plan your getaway today.
Young women are joining a movement to educate voters. Why? The need to represent our conservative and moderate values has never been more important. The values that made our nation the superpower it is. If you work, are in college, have children, every decision made at Louisiana State Capitol and City Council meetings impacts your wallet, your home, education, student loans, and everyday life. Become informed and involved through the LFRW Young Women's Initiative across Louisiana. Public policy impacts you and your family. Check out the Young Women's Initiative by emailing lfrwregion1vp@gmail.com or call 504-382-3474. We look forward to talking to you soon.
Since the early 1800s, the Selassie family has played a significant role in the retail industry in Louisiana. Stuart Selassie has achieved the Certified Diamond Graduate designation from the prestigious Gemological Institute of America. What that means to you, whether it's appraisals, design, build, repair, or diamond sales, you have an expert you can count on. At Selassie's, you make all the right choices. Selassie Jewelry and Fine Gifts in the heart of the Denham Springs Antique District. Find them on Facebook.
Visit one of our 21 state parks all over Louisiana.
Let's go to the state park. There are 21 of them, you know. And state parks have biking and hiking, tubing, and we can even ride horses. Or we can go exploring and even swim by a beach. They have cabins, really nice ones, with long fishing piers.
Don't forget to tell them about the discounts.
Oh yeah, book 3 nights and we get the 4th night free.
Great job.
Thanks.
Louisiana State Parks, we're ready for your adventure.
Are you a business owner that could use just one more customer? Those empty tables, vacant appointments, idle employees, and expired merchandise are missed opportunities. What if there were a community that connects you to high-value and motivated customers, giving you a competitive edge in the marketplace and increasing your revenue? Introducing Partners One. You keep doing what you do best, taking care of your customers, and we'll do what we do best, sending you new customers to take care of. Call us today to find out how Partners One can work for your business.
Hi, I'm Dr. Ron McMorris of Elite Chiropractic in Livingston Parish, conveniently located off the I-12 corridor in Walker and Albany. If you suffer from sciatica, migraines, or other pain conditions, give us a call to see if we have a technique that best fits you. We have multiple techniques including chiropractic adjustments, massage therapy, dry needling, rehab, and much more. Again, I'm Dr. Ron McMorris with Elite Chiropractic in Livingston Parish, Walker, and Albany.
Show. I'm Dr. Kay Solar in the house with Hurricane Betsy Barnes, who is still continuing with that name of Birthday Betsy Barnes.
That's
the entire month. She's keeping the celebration going. And we're really excited to have Dr. Ralph Dauterive, who is the Vice President of Medical Affairs at Ochsner Medical Center here in Baton Rouge. Been a long-term OBGYN in the community here, and thank you for coming on, because I know that lots of folks have questions not just about the COVID vaccine, but about really what is going on in our hospitals, because they get their information from social media, and they're like, what's real and what's not?
From strangers, friends, and everybody else.
Yeah.
A lot of
Exactly.
rumors.
Exactly.
So I mean, what do you want to tackle first? I think, you know, because there's so much going on. Why don't we start with what is actually going on in the hospitals? I mean, are we truly overloaded? Because when you talk to people, they go, "Oh, are those numbers, you know, just to scare us?" What's really going there? Because they're not there unless they've had somebody that's been in the hospital or presented. So I think that's a question in people's minds.
Well, so we'll start off with what's going on in the hospital middle of August.
Yeah.
We're into the 4th surge. Louisiana was blessed with the 1st surge because we got caught with Mardi Gras and the way we live our lives. And so then the rest of the country kind of joined us with the 2nd surge, and then we had a 3rd surge, which was sort of earlier in this year. And we sort of thought that might be it because we had a vaccine and we were going to get out of this. But not enough people got vaccinated, and the Delta variant hit the United States, and then we got caught in this surge. And this surge hit us quicker than the 1st surge. The spike on this surge is dramatic, and the peak is going to be higher than any previous surge. So we're back into daily numbers that we were experiencing when everybody was interested in what the daily numbers were. Well, they're worse now than they were when we were worried about it. Louisiana was one of the leading states in this surge, and coincidentally, we were the leading state in not getting vaccinated. And so if you wanted to look for the proof of the vaccine and how it would be effective, this surge is proving it, because this is the unvaccinated surge. This is the surge that we could have prevented.
So when we see this surge and we're looking at those daily numbers that folks used to follow, are we seeing spikes in not just the number of cases, but the number of hospitalizations, the number of people on vents, and the number of deaths?
Absolutely. So positive test are the leading indicator, and the positive test in the surrounding parishes in Louisiana and in East Baton Rouge were above 22%. So if somebody had symptoms of COVID and they went in to get tested, we're talking 22% positivity rate. I saw pediatric data just recently. Used to be pediatric in January, through the beginning of the year. Pediatric positivity rates were 3.5%. Today they're being reported out at 23, 24%. So that's 1/4 of the kids that have a runny nose, COVID-like symptoms, come in, get tested, and we have a positive test. And some of the argument would be, well, we don't do enough tests, so that's why it's so positive. But that was the old argument. That was in the past. We do lots of tests now. The number of tests that we do has gone up, and the percent positive has gone up. So that is one of the leading indicators. And that we saw that happening, and we saw more testing being done. And right after that, the numbers in the hospital started coming back up. There were a couple of times early in this year we actually discharged the last COVID patient from the hospital. We were so excited, and we had almost nobody in the hospital in the ICU with COVID. We were coming back down to normal numbers.
Right.
And we thought, okay, this is what it's going to be like. This will be the new norm.
And I think that's what we thought, because we were just before this hit feeling like we were getting our heads up out of the sand.
Exactly.
And then all of a sudden, it's like one of those whack-a-moles, you're back, down there.
And the numbers went up in the emergency room, and the numbers in the hospital started to rise. And we were thinking, well, we have treatments now, so maybe we can prevent this. And but there's so many more people infected now, and the Delta variant is a much more aggressive variant of the virus. So that's a serious issue, and we still had people then getting worse on all the things that we knew that we thought we were better at treating. So our peak numbers at Ochsner and Baton Rouge were 44, 45 patients with COVID. And at one point, we had maybe 16, 17 patients on the ventilators. Today, we're at 85 patients in the hospital with COVID, and our 20-bed ICU is filled with COVID patients, and we're overflowing down other halls with ICU capacity and into our operating room with the ICU. So we have about 30, 32 intensive care patients in a hospital that's geared to take care of 20.
Wow. So,
and that goes on everywhere. That's happening at all the hospitals.
Yeah.
In the
So
Baton
when
Rouge
people
area.
think, well, they have regular ICU patients, they're like got surgeries, they got those people. That's not really why the ICUs are full. These are COVID patients filling that.
Exactly. Yeah.
And,
it's serious, and it's not like we can't take care of things that are happening. We can, and we do, but we're not gonna do a knee arthroscopy right now, if you need one, but we're going to deliver your baby, and if you're bleeding, we're going to do a hysterectomy.
We're going to take care of your emergency surgical
get
cases, but your elective cases, just like with the first surge that ended up, getting canceled. Those things are being canceled because there's truly not enough beds if you had an emergency. You need those emergency people and the COVID people for those.
And you need
ICU
nurses.
beds. And you need nurses to take care of them. And some of those folks are getting sick even though they were vaccinated and just have to be out for 14 days. Is that correct?
That's absolute. And our hospital staff got vaccinated at a slightly higher rate than the rest of the community, but our hospital staff lives in the community just like everybody else. And we were sitting in a lot of the hospitals after the first wave of vaccination was offered. We were about 40-45% vaccinated. The physicians tended to get vaccinated at higher rates into the 90-95% range, and the nurses were sitting at about 50%, and some of the other hospital workers and staff were at 30 and 35%.
Right.
The population in Louisiana was sitting at 35%. We're creeping up. We're making some headway with this. And we've been a real push at Ochsner and the other hospitals to, get people to get vaccinated and come to work. Our Lady of the Lake is making a move to go with mandatory vaccination before the emergency order is lifted. We are going with a testing protocol that'll start in the next 2 weeks, where if you're not vaccinated, you'll be required to have weekly testing.
Weekly testing.
And we just passed out these beautiful green lanyards with green holders for your ID. And you're required to wear an ID in a hospital, so everybody has to wear it. And the people who are vaccinated now will be identified with their green lanyards.
Well, when you spoke to those statistics, I think, a lot of time your nursing population, a lot of them are young nurses, and as Betsy was asking, me earlier, having relatives that are young and stuff, a lot of them have that fear because they've seen things on Facebook, on stuff, for the fear of infertility long term.
Or birth defects later, or something like that.
Right. So can you speak on that for young women? Because I think that's some of the delay in young women and young women.
I agree.
Healthcare workers.
And I actually found out about this from a young woman healthcare worker. When we got the vaccine available, I started talking to the nursing staff in the surgical areas, and she said, well, Dr. Dauterive, I'm not comfortable with this. And she told me she was worried about the fertility side of it. And I just looked at her like, well, I haven't heard that. Where did you hear that? And of course she picked it up on Facebook or the internet and some source. And so I spent about 15 to 20 minutes, because as you might remember, turnover time can be slow sometimes. So I had a little dead time.
Yeah.
And went to Up to Date, went and researched it, talked to my infection control specialist, and I said, where is this coming from? And that fear of fertility being affected comes from a theory that the DNA sequencing of the part of the virus that the antibody is going to target had something in common with the placenta. And it turned out to be a 4% allele sequence commonality, which is detailed information, I know, but it's a part of it's part of the DNA. For a virus to work, the antibody has to have almost a 96% commonality. 4% doesn't do it. If all we needed was 4%, we could make vaccines for everything, but it requires much more specific. So that was a theory that was never proven. It was just a thought by one of the Pfizer scientists, and it got out, and it just never got proven. When you look at the data from the 30,000 people that were vaccinated in the early trials, people got pregnant. People were pregnant. And there was no increase in miscarriages and no increase in fertility issues. And now that we've vaccinated millions of people, we're not seeing any increase in the miscarriage rate and no increase in the fertility rate. So those are the things that we use the data to tell us the true story about what we need to be afraid of. And infertility is not one of our fears. People that have gotten pregnant and have received the vaccine have done very well. And we recommend it strongly.
And we need to come back and talk about that, because people are concerned about birth defects later on. So we'll be right back with Rocket Right with Dr. Kay Solar, talking with Dr. Dauterive, Dr. Ralph Dauterive, who's an OBGYN with Ochsner Medical Center. And we're looking forward to hanging and having some more answers.
Yeah, we got a lot more questions. Let's stay put.
My biggest concern was my family and being able to see me come home every day and know everything is going to be okay. I felt comfortable that I was being treated by some of the best. There were some scary points along the way, but it's just kind of like been a little blip in the road.
Money, wellness, fun. Rocket Right Radio takes you all across Louisiana and the nation with guests who live life to the fullest.
I'm Hurricane Betsy Barnes.
I'm Dr. Kay Solar.
You're gonna love it.
Join us every week when we cover
everything under the sun.
Live and learn with the Wright sisters.
Politics,
health,
music and entertainment,
local agnet.
Rocket Right Radio. You're gonna love it.
Whitetail Properties is not your average real estate company. Land specialist and MSU alum Jeff Taylor in Mississippi and LSU fan realtor Cade Taylor have teamed up. Their sole purpose is uniting buyers and sellers of recreational land. If you are interested in hunting, ranch, investment, and timber properties, Whitetail Properties experts have the right real estate for you. Call Jeff Taylor, 601-248-9433, or Cade Taylor, 225-719-0495, or visit whitetailproperties.com.
At Hightower Dental Concepts, we take a compassionate approach to family dentistry. Our goal is to make your dental experience comfortable and informative so you can make the best dental care decisions for you and your family. We're welcoming new patients to our dental family at Essen & Perkins, and we look forward to meeting you soon at Hightower Dental Concepts. Call us today at 769-0031 or request your appointment at info@dentalconceptsbr.com.
Young women are joining a movement to educate voters. Why? The need to represent our conservative and moderate values has never been more important. The values that made our nation the superpower it is. If you work, are in college, have children, every decision made at Louisiana State Capitol and City Council meetings impacts your wallet, your home, education, student loans, and everyday life. Become informed and involved through the LFRW Young Women's Initiative across Louisiana. Public policy impacts you and your family. Check out the Young Women's Initiative by emailing lfrwregion1vp@gmail.com or call 504-382-3474. We look forward to talking to you soon.
There's a joy of life you'll find only in Louisiana. A spirit of celebration that takes your senses places they've never been before. Where expressions of joy are an art form and our way of life. Where an abundance of good food, good times, and great music means there's more than enough to go around. Come one, come y'all. Come feed your soul in Louisiana. I'm John Goodman, inviting you to visit LouisianaTravel.com and plan your getaway today.
With the Rocket Right Show, I'm Dr. Kay Solar in the house with Hurricane Betsy Barnes, and we're continuing our discussion with Dr. Ralph Dauterive, who is the Vice President of Medical Affairs at Ochsner Medical Center here in Baton Rouge.
And we're peppering him with questions. We have lots of questions, and he's got great answers.
Well, because lots of people have questions, and they feel like they've really been having to discern the truth because there's all these battles on Facebook and even in the media as to like vaccinate, not vaccinate, what's the real and what's not real. And so I appreciate you joining us to talk through some of those things. And we were talking about the concerns of young women as far as their fertility
because
and issues with future pregnancies.
The FDA approval and all, the emergency approval was given with so few years of research, or so that's what we thought.
And yet the messenger RNA delivery system that are in Moderna and Pfizer, which is the main core of the vaccines in the United States, this delivery system is not brand new. It's not the delivery system that's new. It's been around since your previous guest said, since in the early 1990s. Moderna has had the concept. They just have not had the reason to develop it for the types of vaccines that we were given. Mm-hmm. So, as opposed to killing a virus and then growing the killed virus so that we could inject it like traditional vaccines were given years and years and years, this is a totally different concept where your cells are sort of taught to make the antibody that's necessary to fight off the virus. So we could restructure the antibody we knew what the antibody needed to look like very quickly because of gene sequencing. And so we knew exactly what we were fighting. Then you had to roll out and really get quick about developing the vaccine. Is it safe in humans? Is it effective in humans? And then can we make it on a broad scale and vaccinate 300 million people? I mean, that was a huge task. Yeah. And I think we did a nice job with that. you know, the first studies that were done, imagine 30,000 people engaged in a double-blind study over a period of a couple of months.
Right.
I mean, just to get people to volunteer for a study like that was amazing.
Yeah.
And then we rolled out that vaccine and got the over 70 crowd vaccinated like that.
Right.
I mean, we did what we were begging for vaccine in the state of Louisiana. Our governor did a great job of bringing it in. And then when we rolled it out to the rest of the community, I just thought our biggest problem would be finding a place to give it to people, that people would just come clamoring in. And it just slowed down.
Right. And I think that a lot of those were like fears that then started coming out with that on social media, because initially, you know, people were like going, I want to get in and I want to get my vaccine and I can't because I don't have the like risk factors and whatever.
Yeah,
but then when it was available for everyone, then there was surplus. It was going bad. They were like dumping, you know, the vaccine.
And the other thing too, don't you think that the media and the sensationalism and the clamor for ratings and all of that has just put things out that has made people more fearful. Now people are getting very serious about making sure they have the truth, and that's why we wanted to have you.
I agree.
Because we wanted people to hear the truth so that they feel comfortable making the decision for themselves.
And, you know, people worry about, they worry about it's being pushed down on them. This recommendation comes, I'm not too sure, or you know, am I really at risk for getting COVID? Because
it's continual messaging that's unusual.
Well, so we do feel it's safe, and you know, the history of vaccines would sort of indicate that. Short-term complications from vaccines you tend to see, because it's sort of a short-term reaction that you get. But we have no major data showing us that any vaccines cause long-term problems. You know, if it wasn't for I mean, we all got vaccinated for the major problems that we're seeing in the 30s and the 40s, you know, when we were young.
Yeah, but when we got vaccinated, we had fewer vaccinations than they have now. There's so many more that children and babies are given now.
And people get concerned.
And it wasn't as politicized.
Right.
I think
that has been a
that's
huge issue.
Been the, you know, big thing, you know, with this. That's
so if we take the politics out and we talk strictly about health care, you would recommend that people take very seriously the opportunity to get the vaccination.
I think you know, the governor said it very well the other day. You trust your doctor to deliver your baby. You trust your doctor to take care of your heart disease. You trust your doctor to take care of your hypertension. Trust them when they tell you, take this vaccine. Because there are very few physicians in the United States that are saying don't take the vaccine.
Right.
And if you see the people that die of this, and we talked about what's going on in the hospital now, the other scary part about what's going on in the hospital with this one is people under 55 are in the hospital on ventilators, and there are some people in the hospital that don't have the typical risk factors that we were seeing in these first phases. Right. They're not obese, and they don't have diabetes, and they don't have the typical things that are older aged patients. And is that because those people all got vaccinated and now these are the people that are being infected? And the other reason to take that vaccine is you've got to protect the rest of the community, because with what we're seeing with the Delta virus is there's more virus in your nose when you get exposed, and so people who've been vaccinated can still get an exposure and have mild symptoms. The vaccine will protect you from severe symptoms and death, but that just keeps this virus out there. And the more it's out there and can jump from human to human, the more likely it is to become lambda or whatever other Greek letter you want to give it. Right. And it'll get and that one is either going to be more infective and more deadly, or it's going to be less effective and less deadly. And we don't know. Right. We have no idea until it occurs.
It is.
And then what about with, you know, we really didn't see it in the pediatric population with the, you know, original surge unless, you know, the child was immunocompromised, and that was still even rare.
Right.
But what are y'all seeing in your pediatric and teen population as far as
an absolute increase? And like you said, it was non-existent in the original COVID surges. We didn't see kids at all. It was a very rare circumstance. But now we're seeing it, and you've got kids coming in the emergency room, and you've got children at Our Lady of Lake Children's Hospital and at Ochsner Children's Hospital and Children's Hospital in New Orleans, and you've got children in the intensive care unit and having to be ventilated. And we're going to have probably some pediatric deaths in this pass.
And that is extremely scary.
I have a quick question.
Sure.
So it was previously said that if you had COVID, they wanted you to donate blood because you had the antibody. How long does the antibody actually last in your system?
It varies.
It varies.
It varies.
And then
about 90 days.
90 days.
That's the thought.
And I know people that have been vaccinated and they've caught it once or twice. They've been vaccinated and then caught it once or twice. I know one person, a good friend of ours, who's gotten it twice.
You got a variant out there, but if you if you acquired immunity from an infection and then the virus mutates and now it's a different kind of virus, then you don't have immunity to that virus. So you're at an increased risk of getting it again. Whereas the vaccines tend to protect you from exposure to the new variants. And we were talking this afternoon, and you were asking me about the booster, and literally after we hung up, the federal government announced that we're going to go with the booster, and it's going to start in mid-September.
For everyone,
that was your answer,
not just for a couple of days ago when it said for immunocompromised. It's for everyone. We're going to have you back to talk because we're out of time. I knew we would have lots of questions for you, but we need to have you come back in the coming weeks, talk about what's going on.
Because this is going to
especially when the booster is released and folks are supposed to be getting that. But thank you so much
we'll be happy
for
to be
enlightening
back.
us.
No
I
problem.
appreciate that. We've been talking with Dr. Ralph Dauterive with Ochsner Medical Center here in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. And up next, some music with Mr. Konner James.
That's playing in the background. That's great.
Hi, I'm Dr. Ron McMorris of Elite Chiropractic in Livingston Parish, conveniently located off the I-12 corridor in Walker and Albany. If you suffer from sciatica, migraines, or other pain conditions, give us a call to see if we have a technique that best fits you. We have multiple techniques including chiropractic adjustments, massage therapy, dry needling, rehab, and much more. Again, I'm Dr. Ron McMorris with Elite Chiropractic in Livingston Parish, Walker, and Albany.
At Hightower Dental Concepts, we take a compassionate approach to family dentistry. Our goal is to make your dental experience comfortable and informative so you can make the best dental care decisions for you and your family. We're welcoming new patients to our dental family at Essen & Perkins, and we look forward to meeting you soon at Hightower Dental Concepts. Call us today at 769-0031 or request your appointment at info@dentalconceptsbr.com.
Some call it joie de vivre, the joy of life. In Louisiana, it's our way of life. From music that shakes up your senses to food that wakes up your palate. That joy vibrates in every note we play and spices up every meal we serve. So come live life to the fullest. Come one, come y'all, come feed your soul in Louisiana. I'm Sean Ardway, inviting you to plan your trip at louisianatravel.com.
Since the early 1800s, the Selassie family has played a significant role in the retail industry in Louisiana. Stuart Selassie has achieved the Certified Diamond Graduate designation from the prestigious Gemological Institute of America. What that means to you, whether it's appraisals, design, build, repair, or diamond sales, you have an expert you can count on. At Selassie's, you make all the right choices. Selassie Jewelry and Fine Gifts in the heart of the Denham Springs Antique District. Find them on Facebook.
Whitetail Properties is not your average real estate company. Land specialist and MSU alum Jeff Taylor in Mississippi and LSU fan realtor Kay Taylor have teamed up. Their sole purpose is uniting buyers and sellers of recreational land. If you're interested in hunting, ranch, investment, and timber properties, Whitetail Properties experts have the right real estate for you. Call Jeff Taylor, 601-248-9433, or Kay Taylor, 225-719-0495, or visit whitetailproperties.com.
Visit one of our 21 state parks all over Louisiana.
Let's go to the state park. There are 21 of them, you know. And state parks have biking and hiking, tubing, and we can even ride horses. Or we can go exploring and even swim by a beach. They have cabins, really nice ones, with long fishing piers.
Don't forget to tell them about the discounts.
Oh yeah, book 3 nights and we get the 4th night free.
Great job.
Thanks.
Louisiana State Parks. We're ready for your adventure.
I had a meeting with Dr. Barfield, and it kind of just hit me. It probably is cancer. After the surgery, I wasn't scared anymore. I was looking forward to getting started with chemo. Not one time did I get a nurse in a bad mood. I was here for 5 hours at a time, and I did not dread coming. To get people from around the country to come to Baton Rouge, that says a lot right there. That this place is cutting edge.
With the Rocket Right Show, I'm Dr. Kay Solar in the house with birthday Betsy Barnes, blowing in here like a hurricane. Yeah. Hey, can you?
Thank you.
See?
Happy birthday.
And we're going to have some singing from
Sarah
Mr. Konner James, who is joining us today. Thank you for hanging with us.
Oh, thanks for having me.
We're so glad you could come and join us. You know, there's been so much heaviness with a lot of the fears and a lot of the things going on with COVID and other topics in the news, and sometimes we just need a good Louisiana musician to just like bring us out of that and just strum and sing.
We're all us musicians are sitting in the back looking through our fingers, you know, hoping things stay normal.
I know. It's really scary, because just when y'all think that you're able to get back out on the road, play some shows.
Got a little taste of it, got to do it a little bit.
Then it looks like things could kind of shut down and start canceling again, and that's pretty scary when, make your living, you know, doing
it's
that.
kind of a bummer, you know, you got to find something boring to do.
Right,
Nobody likes that.
No, but we're glad that you're just continuing to do what you do and sharing that. And you mentioned a few moments ago that you have an album coming out.
September, end of September. I got we're dropping a single September 24th. And then the album comes about, you know, a week after that.
Okay, so tell us the name of the single.
The name of the single is going to be As Long As My Heart's Beating.
Okay.
Wow, I like it.
It's a love song, kind of like a smooth listening, you know, slow dance with your woman.
Okay.
Oh, are you going to sing that for us? Or are you going to sing something else?
Who doesn't love that? And then so the album, how many songs on this album project?
There's 12.
Wow, that's a full album.
It's a full studio album. I recorded
when you've been caught up in COVID, you had plenty of time to write.
I guess you had plenty, yes.
Depends, I guess.
So where did you record this album? Tell us all about it.
Okay, well, I recorded this album with a guy y'all might know. His name's Keith Sykes. Wrote some songs for Jimmy Buffett and John Prine, Jerry Jeff Walker.
Up in Nashville then?
Memphis, actually.
Memphis. Okay, because I thought he was in Nashville.
He was, but...
he scooted over to Memphis?
A little bit. He's from Memphis. He used to record in Nashville, but he's now running a studio at Ardent Studios. And Ardent Studios is where albums like Stevie Ray Vaughan, you know, Skillet, ZZ Top recorded.
We love Southern rock.
I mean,
we do.
Huge albums have been cut in the studio I was actually recording in. It's just
awesome. Did you say Pinch Me? I'm not sure I'm really here.
Every day. Copperhead Road was recorded in there. It was, you know, it's insane. But we got some good stuff I believe we're going to put out.
Congratulations.
And did you write on those songs? Did you write on those songs with Keith? Did you pick songs from other hit writers? How did you select the songs for your album?
So he kind of out of nowhere called me to come up to Memphis, and we kind of test ran it. I didn't know what I was doing. I was never into music before this. And
wait, what?
Yeah, what? Say back up.
Say that again. What were you into before? How did this happen? The music bug just bit you one night,
and you suddenly had this talent to play the guitar and sing.
There's a big story. You know, there's I learned to play the guitar in probably my sophomore year of college, and you know, learned on YouTube and stuff. And I wanted to learn how to play guitar because I like to sing on my own. I never thought I'd sing in front of anybody, but I like to play songs that I know and sing them to myself. And I would record myself, but I would never ever show anybody. And one of my buddies had a wedding, and we went to this bar right next to it, the after party or whatever, and this band was there, and I was chatting them up, and the guy actually made me play a song. I was dying, and I was like, there's no way, man, I can't do this. And he's like, you're doing it. This guy that plays around here all the time, Bubba
Plochet?
Bubba Plochet.
We know Bubba Plochet. I love him. He's awesome.
Yeah,
he's such a good guy.
The one that, he's kind of the reason I'm sitting here right now.
Oh, wow. That's awesome.
And, thank you, Bubba.
Yes.
For watching. Yeah.
Thank you, Bubba.
And Bubba and Doug, they were playing at Satterfield's and New Roads.
Yeah.
And the guy, Keith Sykes, saw the video. Someone recorded it in the background. He saw it. We went up there to Memphis. He asked me to come a couple months later. And here we are cut. And back to your question, who wrote the songs? So, he got me to Memphis recording these songs. And he's a songwriter, big songwriter.
Right.
He's got gold records. And he said, man, a songwriter's dream is to have one album where they wrote every single song. He said, would you do that with me, this one album, and after all this, we could do anything you want? And I said, man, I don't care.
Yeah.
We're here. Come on.
That's right.
So that's what we're doing. Every song on this album has been written and produced by Keith Sykes.
Okay, well,
Wow.
cool. And I saw y'all playing in a video at the Bluebird.
We did, yeah, in 2019, I believe.
Before COVID hit.
Yeah. That's when I was recording the album. So we were doing mixes and stuff, and my dad kind of hinted out there because him and my dad talk, but they don't tell me nothing. And, he was, I was like, man, I guess he's not going to ask me because it's Monday and this is happening Wednesday or Thursday. And he comes up to me like the day before and says, hey, Konner, you want to play the Bluebird Wednesday and do one of these songs? And I was like, yeah. And he picks a song, that we just started working on these, and he picks a song that we haven't been working on, or, I'm not that familiar with, and I'm like, I got to learn this in a day. And it's a Bluebird, so you don't want to mess up. And I'm like, yeah, I'm excited and everything. And I was like, oh, God, I got a day to do this. And we went to the Bluebird with Richard Lee.
It was a great day, wasn't
Tony
it?
Arata wrote the dance, and it was great, yeah.
Yeah, cool. Well, we don't want to run out of time before we hear you play a little bit. So tell us what you're going to play for us and give us a little taste of what's going to be on this upcoming album.
Because we want everybody to buy your
We're
album.
going to play right now?
Yeah.
Sure.
Well, I'll play my single that's coming out in September.
And refresh us on the name again.
As Long as My Heart's Beating.
As Long as My Heart's Beating. All
I
right,
like it
here you
already.
go.
As long as my heart is beating, you'll have a coat of love to keep you warm. Because love is not a thing that's fleeting. It holds you through the sunshine and the storm. And when dreams fall and heartaches rise on broken wings through empty skies, it seems like only bad things keep repeating. There's one thing you'll always know, whatever punch the world may throw, you'll have my love as long as my heart's beating. Tonight, as the world is turning, you're the one that I keep turning to, like a light that never will stop burning. No matter how much darkness it goes through, and when it's time to make your stand, and if you need a helping hand, I'll be there when all others are retreating. And if the wind is warm or cold, whatever this life may hold. You'll have my love as long as my heart's beating. You'll have my love as long as my heart's beating.
That was awesome.
That was beautiful.
So, and just to think, 11 more to round out 12 coming at you shortly after the single is released.
I love your voice. I love the way you play. I really hope this album is another gold.
Yeah, I hope so too.
You.
I think we got some great songs on there.
You do.
I can't wait to show everybody. We got 2 singles out right now. We just released a song called "Drive Myself to Drinking" in June, and we recorded a video with Scott Ennis, Scooby Doo, William Gill, and that was a great video. But I can't wait for this song for people to hear it, and the whole album actually. So
that's awesome.
So
well, it will be here before
released 2 singles, and you mentioned one. What was the other single?
"Give It to Me." That was the first one I released. "Give It to Me" first. That was in February. Second one, "Drive Myself to Drinking" in June, and now finally we're on the 3rd single we're going to release, and then the album after that.
Well,
That's
it is
awesome.
all going to be coming at you soon. And to keep up with it and to find out where you can see Konner James play live, head to his website, right? KonnerJames.com. It's just easy. And that's with a K. KonnerJames.com.
Check me out on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, if you got it.
All over the world.
We need to
the
support
World
Konner
Wide
James.
Web. So thank you for joining us and for serenading us. And if you're going to rock it,
make sure you rock it right.
Woo, y'all. Thank you.
Are you a business owner that could use just one more customer? Those empty tables, vacant appointments, idle employees, and expired merchandise are missed opportunities. What if there were a community that connects you to high-value and motivated customers, giving you a competitive edge in the marketplace and increasing your revenue? Introducing Partners One. You keep doing what you do best, taking care of your customers, and we'll do what we do best, sending you new customers to take care of. Call us today to find out how Partners One can work for your business.
Rock It Right with Betsy Barnes and Dr. K. Solar is brought to you by these generous sponsors. Partners One, better barter for Baton Rouge and beyond.
Mary Bird Perkins, Our Lady of the Lake Cancer Center, Selassie Jewelry and Fine Gifts, Advantage Health Solutions with Dr. Boyd Michael Helm, Hightower Dental Concepts with Dr. Leah Larson, City Group Hospitality including City Pork Brasserie and Bar, City Pork Catering, City Slice, City Taco, Rouge Creole, and Beau Soleil.
Talent 360 Consulting with Vicki Little, Jeff Taylor, Realtor and Forester with Whitetail Properties. The 3rd Street Songwriters Festival, Elite Chiropractic with Dr. Ron McMorris, LouisianaIsATrip.com, Take One. Thank you for making our show possible.